So this is how the game look in engine, right? It's right here. It's like a cyclone, right? It's a magical cyclone, right? Okay. Alright, so like the ambition, right? Like it's more like 10, right? The sparkles, right? I don't know. Alright, the sparkles, right? These little red dots, maybe whatever, right? They're like mimicking like how stars rather be able, like instead of stars and night skies, whatever, right? Because it says twinkling, right? That's what it's mimicking, right? Sparkles effects, whatever, right? The emission, right, is 10 per second, meaning like they spawn 10 particles per second, right? And like the particles that spawn is these ones, right? It's the texture, right? It's got sparkle, right? Right, and it has like 7 dots, right? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, right? So these spawns, right? 10, right? It's like 10, 7, right? The 10 is spawned every second, right? And each one that spawn has this particle, right? This texture, right? I have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, right? So the spawn groups are 7, right? And like 10 every second, right? So it's like 10, 7, that's 10, 7, right? It's like 10 of these in groups, right? And 7, right? The texture, right? The 7. It's like 7 dots, right? Sparkles, right? Together, right? So each time it spawns like 10, 7, 10, 7, right? Also, the fact it looks like a figure 8 or whatever, right? Because I made this game April 20, right? 2015, that's 8 years, right? Before the events happened, right? Okay, what's that, right? So some guy, right? Shows this cyclone, right? It looks like an 8, whatever, right? But that's like just like an optical illusion, right? It looks like this, right? In perspective camera, right? It appears like this, like a magical cyclone, right? But like the settings I chose for the camera, right? It's orthographic, right? So it appears as an 8, right? Because the guy's saying 8 years, right? After a bit, right? The game, right? That's one earlier, right? It's 8 years, right? If I switch to perspective camera, right, it looks like this, right? It doesn't look like a figure 8, whatever. Right? That's like an optical illusion, right? Kind of like how you have like the rotating spiral, or whatever, right? Like hypnosis, right? You watch the videos on YouTube, like a spiral that's like spinning, whatever. Right? It appears like right, and then it gives you like right. It's like an optical illusion, whatever. Right? It's trying to like, hypnotize you, right? It's got a lot of cameras, right? Right? It looks like this on orthographic, whatever, right? Like a figure 8, whatever, right? But from perspective, it looks like a magical a cyclone, right? Also, like the position, right? I chose, right? I want to make this 2050, right? It's negative 10, right? The camera position is negative 10 from this right here, right? This is the camera position right here. Right, it's literally negative 10. That's the setting I chose back, way back, right? When I was making this, right? I was using the negatives, right? Anyways, so each time, like, this spawn, whatever, right? It's a 7 dots spawning together, right? But it's 10 spawn per second, right? And each one's, right, have like 7 sparkles, right? And they're all like whirling around me, like rotating around, right? To have this effect, right? But it doesn't look like this in perspective, right? It's like a, right? In perspective, it looks like a magical cyclone, right? But the setting I chose when I make the game go back to 2015, right? It's orthographic camera, right? To appear as like a flat book, right? So there's no depth to this, right? So it appears as a figure 8, right? Because guys saying like 8 years after right? The game, right? That's when the okay, what's that happened with it, right? The sparkles, right? We mimics how stars behave, whatever, right? Because remember Nova Music Festival, right? Nova's like, right? It's like when a star, right? Explode, it gets really bright, whatever. It shine like an entire galaxy, whatever, right? So these little dots are mimicking like stars, right? Like the fact that right, the fact that it spawned right like 10, right? You get it, right? Because it was like 2 per second, right? 8 years after this, right? The fact that it spawned like 10 per second, right? And each like spawn has like 7 sparkles, right? Right? It's like right, it's like encrypted, right? Like two, three, four, five, six. Right, so each time this is right, guys saying right, 8 years after this, right? 10, 7, right? 10, 7. It just keeps repeating, right? It looks like stars, right? Like SuperNova Music Festival, right? Like SuperNova. Yeah. So that's just me explaining like what the actual means, right?